It's time to put the brawling gloves away, shake hands, and forget all the meta talk for a few moments. Due to our work at Tianquan, Command has just unlocked access to the EXO-45 Patriot mech. Today, in our usual style, we'll be stress testing it against an array of units, both Terminid and Automaton, in a variety of utility roles, to see how this walking death machine can augment your squad and playstyle. Due to the way it functions, this thing wasn't really what I was expecting, so hang around as we dig into why that is. I found its usefulness extremely divergent between the Terminids and Automatons. After spending a few hours on this lovely screen, we finally make it to our bridge. To unlock the Patriot, simply go to the armory. It functions as a stratagem call-in. You'll find it by its lonesome right at the bottom, where it costs 20,000 requisition slips and requires level 25 to unlock. Here, you find out that the EXO-45 Patriot exosuit is a heavily armored walking exosuit equipped with a rocket launcher and a heavy machine gun. It gets 2 total uses and a cooldown time of 10 minutes. Yes, that's right, 10 whole minutes, so you really want to make this count. Simply click and hold unlock and... I said... Okay, well luckily Command has given us a free call-in to commemorate the occasion, so we don't have to unlock it yet. Planet side, we run through its stratagem code and a pelican politely drops the mech off for us, all the while providing some firing cover. Our goal is to put the suit through a trial by fire by taking down the dreaded Bile Titan of Angel's Venture. We get into the mech for the UI to load up for the first time and show us 1,000 heavy machine gun rounds and 14 rockets. On the PC, right-click shoots the machine gun, while left-click shoots the rockets. The machine gun takes around a second to spool up and begin firing. It has good accuracy to within 40 meters, and we soon learn that it's able to dispatch everything up to the medium armored Terminids with supreme ease. Hive guards and brood commanders all go down with less than half a second of sustained fire. And it's even able to do this. Nice. The rocket does not have a broad AoE, so using it on lighter chaff units is not recommended, given that we only have 14 of them. We launch 2 rockets into the side of a charger to immediately de-armor its carapace, and then unload the machine gun into the fleshy bits. While the charger goes down, I can't help but think there's a more efficient way to take these guys down. More on this very soon. We spot the dreaded Bile Titan in the distance and open with a salvo of 2 rockets to de-shell its carapace. We then unload our machine gun at it, to minimal effect. The Titan then melts us with its bile spray, to which we learn that this is not the ideal way to take down Titans with the exosuit. We load up to try again by taking on the dreaded Bile Titan of Meridia this time. On the way, we survive a charger rush, only to find out the ideal way to take these guys down is by de-armoring the leg with a single rocket and then unloading into it with the heavy machine gun. Think of this as having the pre-patch railgun and your primary in the one platform. This method takes down charges in as little as 3 seconds. Fantastic. We encounter the dreaded Bile Titan and engage it with our rockets from over 100 meters. 2 well-placed rockets to the face take it down quick smart. This is the way to take out Bile Titans with our new exosuit. 2 rockets per Titan is very impressive. But will it be as impressive as what the other upcoming mechs and the weapons in next week's Warbond are capable of doing? Make sure you're subscribed to find out. We'll be stress testing these in our usual style the moment they drop, and I can't wait to find out how they'll help in our fight for democracy. So what else can the EXO-45 do? Well, as expected, the rockets can take out bug nests with ease. As with the autocannon, the angle has to be just right, and both the debris and bug corpses can get in the way of your shot, so make sure you line it up right. Because the rocket shoots from the left side of the mech, the angle isn't always easy to get right, so there's a bit of a learning curve here. The rockets can also open up containers. The mech itself moves quite slowly, and the turret takes a while to rotate, so getting swarmed is a potential concern. It excels at traversing shallow bodies of water, while unfortunately it has no vault mechanic. This means it can be obstructed by rough terrain quite easily. On the upside, man-made obstacles such as walls are no obstruction to it. In terms of saving ammo, simply walking over scavengers will splat them. Meanwhile, the melee key will initiate a stomp that can take out medium units for you. Because the mech is a one-shot drop, there is no way to replenish its ammo or repair its armor. This means you need to be extremely judicious and careful with how you deploy it. Don't waste any more ammo than necessary on chaff units, and make the rockets count when taking on armored units. Luckily, the machine gun can melt everything shy of charges and titans. Even stalkers get absolutely eviscerated if you land shots around the head. Now, the unfortunate thing about left and right click firing our weapons is that they continue to do this even while we're using our minimap and setting markers. So perhaps do that before you get in. But how robust is it? Well, the mech gets one shot by airstrikes and mortars, meaning that you're going to need some serious team coordination to make it work for you. Bearing in mind it's limited to 2 uses and has a cooldown of 10 minutes, losing your mech prematurely can really take the jam out of your donut. It has robust defenses against smaller units like scavengers and hunters, but it can be whittled down fairly quickly by anything north of a warrior, so getting mobbed is a big concern. Overall, the EXO-45 is extremely satisfying to use against Terminids, and its sheer power against chargers and bile titans might make it a meta choice for squads running higher difficulties where heavy units spawn as commonly as pink-haired gender studies graduates do at Eat the Rich rallies. Against the automatons is where things take a turn. We drop down on my beloved space Scotland to find the Patriot's machine gun is expectedly able to mow through all foot soldier units without issue, but unfortunately cannot penetrate either the shield of a heavy devastator or the frontal armor of a strider. Both of these units are relatively tiny and hard to hit with rockets, which makes them troubling if you're trying to retain ammo for more potent uses such as taking out stationary turrets or tanks. Luckily, the striders can be shot around the groin area to effect, which will whittle them down. Heavy devastators meanwhile need a whole 2 rockets to take down. Bear in mind, that's the exact amount a bile titan requires. Not a very efficient use of ammo. The rockets, in about 3 well-placed shots to the engine, can take out a single dropship. It's up to you whether this is a good use of ammo, considering disposable anti-tank launchers and recall-less rifles can presently do this in a single shot. Bear in mind, the dropship moves around a lot, and the EXO is both slow to aim and the rockets notoriously difficult to hit small targets with. In general, the accuracy of the machine gun beyond 40 meters is so low that you'll be eating through your ammo reserves when engaging any small squad. If that squad has devastators in it, prepare to melt through even more. In order to properly land headshots on devastators, you have to be painfully close to them. And the Patriot is a huge target that everything will be landing shots on constantly, meaning your lifespan will be very limited. This makes it feel more like a cumbersome liability in most straight-up engagements. Expectedly, the machine gun is completely useless against Hulk frontal armor, which requires a whole 3 rockets in order to go down. Note, this is the same amount it takes to bring down an Annihilator tank. In the present spawn meta, this makes the EXO-45 more of a liability than an asset, since you'll be dealing with dozens of Hulks and tanks on any given mission in higher difficulties. Bear in mind, your mech only gets 14 rockets, and you only get 2 of them 10 minutes apart. That's 28 rockets in total, which means you can only take out 9 Hulks or tanks in a given mission, assuming you shoot perfectly and don't miss at all, or use any of the rockets for utility purposes such as taking out fabricators. Speaking of which, the rockets cannot take out fabricators if shot at the walls. You have to nail the vent, just like with the autocannon. The problem is that the bases are normally built around tricky terrain and the mech is notoriously unable to traverse this, so it's very easy to get mobbed in bases where you're having to go in through the front door. Once again, this makes the mech much more of a liability versus just lobbing a few airstrikes and orbitals into the base and moving on. The EXO-45, in my opinion, is going to be far from ideal in higher level missions. It pulls aggro from the entire battlefield, and light arms are going to be hitting it from hundreds of meters away as it slowly hulks around the battlefield, unable to traverse rough terrain or take meaningful cover. The heavy machine gun ammo gets melted through very quickly, given how inaccurate it is at medium to long distance and how small the foot soldier units are. The rocket pool, meanwhile, is nowhere near robust enough to justify the awkwardness of using the mech, when you can instead have a similar effect with regular Eagle airstrikes on rapid cooldown. All in all, it just doesn't feel like the right tool for the job. The Terminids, potentially fantastic, especially if you coordinate well with your squad. It can melt charges and bile titans if you learn how to aim the rocket launcher. For automatons, stick with the orbitals and airstrikes, and generally just getting stomped on foot, at least until their spawn mechanics are reworked. Have you tried the EXO-45 yet? What are your thoughts? I'm sure you'll let me know either way, and I'll see you for the next mech review.